Hey y'all, I'm Jen.
And I'm Ed,
And welcome to In My Haunted Era,
a podcast where we talk about all things spooky or true crime or UFO, anything that kind of, is a little chilling and we want to talk about.
Anything unexplained, we love it.
Yeah. So let's talk about some spooky shit.
Let's talk about some spooky shit. Some spooky shit for me off the bat is my diet today.
What have you eaten?
So I wouldn't call it a diet in the traditional sense. I'm just using that word very loosely to describe the types of food I've eaten today. And we'll start with when I got off work at 6 a.m. I had a bagel and cream cheese.
Oh, yum.
I'm a slut for a cinnamon raisin bagel and cream cheese, not toasted, just cold, plain cream cheese, not whipped, just the creamy. Kevin calls it my autistic snack right now because I've had it like every day since the summer. I can't let go.
Oh, but bagels are so good.
They're so good.
Yeah.
And so when I woke up at 2 p.m. after working night shift, I had another bagel and cream cheese because I have to have one when I wake up.
Okay.
I must have one when I wake up.
I get it.
Then my son wanted a Pop-Tart, so we had Pop-Tarts. And now I made a big-ass bowl full of truffle fries.
God, that looks really good.
It's so good. Next time I see you or if you come over, I'll make you some because me and Kevin eat them like 2 or 3 times a week. And I just put half a bag of frozen skinny fries. Skinny fries are the best.
They're
in the air fryer.
Also makes you feel skinny.
It makes you feel skinny. And then you cook them a little bit longer.
Oh, yeah.
Because you want them crispy. Yeah. And then you're going to put 2 tablespoons of truffle oil. I use white truffle oil. You're going to put that on the fries in a big bowl. And you're going to burn the shit out of your hand. You're going to mix it up with your hand. You just got to get your hand in there. That's the best way to do it. Then you're going to put grated Parmesan cheese. The only thing I'm missing today is grated Parmesan cheese. Kevin did not buy them at the grocery store. So I'm eating lackluster truffle fries, but truffle fries nonetheless.
Those sound really good.
And then you put some parsley flakes on there. Mix it all up. Yeah. I'm telling you, it's restaurant quality at home.
Sounds so good.
It's so fucking good. But yeah, I have eaten garbage today. Nary a molecule of protein in sight.
Or veg.
Or vegetable. I parsley. Does that count?
I don't
or is
think
that just a seasoning?
I think it's an herb.
Potato. French fries are potato.
Oh, that's true. That's a vegetable.
Carb-heavy diet.
Lots of fiber.
Exactly.
Meanwhile, that's all the stuff I want to eat. We're trying to, I got, when you get in your head and you're like, oh, I hate the way I look. I'm going to start eating real good. I'm going to work out every day and da-da-da-da. I'm in one of those moods. So at the grocery store, I just got stuff to make salad and grilled chicken. And so for breakfast, I had, what was it? Greek yogurt, plain Greek yogurt with some granola and a little bit of honey. And I didn't have any snacks at work. Usually I have some sort of snack, but I didn't. And I came home for lunch and we had like our vegetable, I don't even know. It has like ground turkey, a lot of veggies.
Oh, yeah.
I feel
like your husband has brought that.
Yes.
To eat at our house when he comes over. Like, and you have to send me that recipe. It looks good.
Okay, I mean it's no recipe. It's no recipe. It's just
no recipe.
We have one of those ninja choppers, and I just put a shit ton of vegetables in there and grind it up real small, so I don't even really know what I'm eating.
Yeah,
I mix it in with ground turkey and a taco seasoning packet, and it's just like a bowl, and it's like a Southwest ground turkey bowl. But we add I didn't today because I'm on a health kick. We add like shredded cheese and sour cream, avocado, and like chips to make like a Southwestern bowl. Yeah, very good. Lots of veggies to get in without even knowing.
Yeah,
didn't have a snack in between lunch and dinner, and then I came home and we made a salad with chicken and lentils, and it's great.
So good.
I'm gonna feel great, but so before we hopped on here, we had gotten some mochi from Trader Joe's, so I had a mochi.
I don't really understand what mochi is.
Oh my god, it's my new fixation dessert.
Okay,
so it's like a thing of ice cream, flavored ice cream in a sweet rice covering, so you can hold it with your hand without getting melty ice cream all on you. And I think one is like 70 or something calories, 80 calories.
And you got it at Trader Joe's?
And we've had the vanilla, but we have the green tea one right now, and it is so good. And usually I don't like weird flavors. I don't think I drink green tea every morning.
Usually I don't like weird flavors.
Usually I just go for chocolate or vanilla, cookies and cream. But I don't do a lavender. Don't give me nothing.
Don't do the lavender.
Don't give me lavender. That's so...
Lavender tea, lavender coffee. It's not for me. I tried it.
Either. It tastes like soap.
Because it was trendy. It tastes like soap. I don't
Or
want to taste the
perfume.
thing that I use to wash my hands. Like,
No.
no.
So, but the green tea flavor's really good.
It's good. That one's good.
I was like, oh,
Well, green
I love
tea
this.
makes sense because you drink green tea.
Yeah, I do.
But
I
like
drink green tea every
lavender
morning.
typically is not a thing that's
a flower.
ingested. It's a flower, bitches.
A scent.
It's a plant. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't want to eat
I feel
it.
that. Well, it sounds like that's really healthy. And my mouth is watering about those Southwestern Bowl things.
Well,
That
all I
sounds
want
amazing.
are your truffle fries. Or I could like
Well,
down some
we'll
tater
swap.
tots
We'll do
right
a recipe
now.
swap. We've made truffle tater tots.
Oh.
Not as good. They kind of fall
No.
apart.
I
But
expect that. You gotta just eat it with a spoon.
yeah, we've tried the waffle fries, truffle fries. We've tried thicker fries. We've tried little hash brown rounds. We've tried
Yes.
those. We have truffled all of these potato items.
Truffled everything
And
that can be truffled.
if it is frozen and in potato form, we have truffled it.
Skinny
And
fries
the
are where
skinny
it's at.
fries are the best.
Have you tried a crinkle fry?
Yes, we've tried a crinkle fry.
What's
it was
wrong?
good.
Did it
It's just
absorb
not-
too much of the
It
oil?
absorbed too much, so it got
Mhm.
mushier.
Mhm.
So you either got to make them super crispy or just don't do it, or just expect them to be
Okay.
mushy.
So
Or
skinny
expect
fries.
it to be like a chili bowl where you kind of like, where you put chili on fries or tots. You kind
Yeah.
of need a fork to eat them with. That might be
Yeah.
a better option, but that's not really the vibe I want.
No.
Didn't
Didn't
it's
know
not
you were
my-
going to
the
get
vibe.
food recipes and recommendations
You
today.
didn't
Did
know.
you, listeners?
You didn't know. You came for the ghost stories. You're leaving with recipes.
Nothing
So you're welcome.
spookier than having to decide what to eat. We
Exactly.
just help you.
My biggest complaint as an adult is having to figure out what to feed myself 3 times a day.
And I want to apologize all the time to my mom because
Yeah.
how dare I come home from school and not even ask my mom how her day was. My first question was, hey, what's for dinner? What the fuck?
Yeah. And then immediately judge what it was.
That's so rude.
Yeah.
I
Mhm.
how dare I?
Mm-hmm.
14, 15-year-old Emily, how dare she?
Exactly. I know the audacity of my children telling me they don't want my food for dinner. And I'm like, bitch,
Too
you go to
damn
the grocery
bad.
store.
Here's
Yeah.
a slice of American
You
craft
learn to cook.
cheese.
Yeah, exactly. They eat slices of that shit all the time.
Yeah, I used to too.
Yeah.
I still would.
They're just like, can I have cheese? And I'm like, go off. Literally go off. But yeah. So we have spooky shit to tell you.
We do have spooky shit.
I'm going first this time.
Yeah, you are.
Hope
What are
you're
we
ready.
talking about? Oh, I don't know.
We're talking about Yorktown Memorial Hospital in South Texas.
What? Wait, there's a Yorktown in South Texas?
There's
Is
a
the city
Yorktown, Texas. We got a Paris. We got a
Rome?
Rome. We've
The
got
battle.
we
All
got
I
everything.
think of is Hamilton, the Battle of Yorktown, right?
Exactly. Yeah, we got our Yorktown.
So, okay, did we'll probably get into it, but did reading about a spooky hospital, could you relate to any of it?
Like we've said before, the ghosts want nothing to do with me.
That's true.
In my 11 years as a nurse, I have had 1, maybe 2 experiences.
Okay.
And I've talked about them before. The one where the TV turned on in the room after we had turned it off and we were talking about spooky shit in the room. And then my friends have experienced things and I've gotten weird vibes in certain areas of hospitals I worked at, but nothing like this.
Okay. Let's get into it.
Yeah. So, located 75 miles southeast of San Antonio, Texas, lies the small town of Yorktown. Yorktown's official founding is closely tied to the establishment of a key transportation route. In the 1840s, a road was constructed to connect the Gulf Coast seaport of Indianola with the inland town of New Braunfels. This road was known as the Old Indianola Trail, and it passed through the land where Yorktown now stands. The location along this important trail helped shape the town's early growth. Today, Yorktown remains a small, tranquil town with a population of about 2,000 people.
Okay.
Yorktown is known for its tight-knit community, which places a strong emphasis on family, church, and school activities. High school football is a major source of pride, as it is for every Texas town,
Yeah.
for the community. And the town comes together every year to celebrate its rich heritage during local events and festivals. So, Yorktown Memorial Hospital, located in Yorktown, is infamous for its eerie history and ghostly legends. The building, a former medical facility that has stood since the 1950s, is now one of the most well-known haunted locations in Texas. Its haunting reputation has drawn paranormal enthusiasts, ghost hunters, and curious visitors from all over, eager to experience its chilling atmosphere. When Yorktown was founded in the mid-1800s, there was no need for a formal hospital. With a population of just over a few hundred people, most medical care was provided by doctors through house calls and one-room clinics. If a patient needed a higher level of medical care, they would have to make the trek to San Antonio. But as the town grew, more doctors and more advanced medical technology were needed to address the needs of the growing community. Yorktown Memorial Hospital began construction in 1950 and opened its doors the following year in 1951 as a community hospital serving the residents of Yorktown and the surrounding rural areas. It was operated by the Felician Sisters, an order of Catholic nuns dedicated to providing healthcare to underserved communities. The hospital was built with the intention of offering modern medical care to a region that lacked adequate facilities.
Okay.
They were known I know, right?
They were known for their good.
It all sounds great. Like where could it go wrong?
Where's the shoe drop?
You'll find out. They were known for their compassionate care, and the hospital quickly became a cornerstone of the community. It provided medical services to thousands of patients, including those who could not afford to pay, and was seen as a beacon of hope and healing. The hospital's architecture reflected its Catholic foundation, with a central chapel serving as the heart of the facility. The chapel was adorned with religious iconography, including statues of saints and a large crucifix. It was a place of solace and prayer for patients, families, and staff. The hospital also featured an operating room for surgeries, a maternity ward for childbirth, patient rooms, administrative offices, a pharmacy, and a basement used for storage and mechanical systems. The building itself spans 30,000 square feet, which includes a basement and 2 wings on either side. The second floor strictly served as living quarters for those who worked there. For many years, Yorktown Memorial Hospital thrived, offering essential medical care to a grateful community. But by the 1970s, Yorktown Memorial Hospital began to face significant challenges that would ultimately lead to its downfall. As healthcare costs rose and larger, more advanced hospitals were built in nearby cities, Yorktown Memorial struggled to compete. The hospital relied heavily on donations and the goodwill of the community, but funding became increasingly scarce. At the same time, the hospital faced difficulties in retaining qualified medical staff. Many doctors and nurses left for better-paying positions at larger facilities, leaving the hospital understaffed and overburdened. Yeah, and as a nurse, I know just how detrimental being understaffed can be to the health and safety of patients.
I was wondering, yeah.
It's bad news, but with the rise of modern healthcare facilities in nearby towns, fewer patients chose to seek treatment at Yorktown Memorial. The hospital's reputation began to suffer, and its facilities fell into disrepair. Rumors of neglect and malpractice began to circulate, with some former patients and staff members claiming that the quality of care had declined significantly, leading to unnecessary suffering and even deaths.
Oh, there it is.
In 1986, Yorktown Memorial Hospital officially closed its doors when another hospital opened up just a few miles away in Cuero, Texas. I'm assuming it's Cuero. It's Cuero.
Yeah. What year did you say it shut down?
1986.
Dang. Okay.
Yeah, so it wasn't around that long.
No.
But so this new hospital opened, it put this one out of business.
Yeah.
But while the true number of deaths is unknown, they estimate the amount of deaths at 2,000. Over 35 years, that would equal out to 1 death per week.
That's a lot, right? What's the norm?
That's a lot of deaths. A lot of deaths. I mean, I would, for a large hospital, okay, I'm sure you could have multiple a day. But for a small hospital, like community hospital like this, I don't know. But then also, if that's like the major hospital people go to when they're sick, then I would. And I'm sure healthcare then was different now in terms of prevention, like focus on preventative health and like treating your chronic illnesses and stuff. So, I mean, it seems like a lot in the short amount of time for the size, but I don't know.
Imagine like you live in the town and you have to go to the hospital and you're like, God, no, please don't take me to that hospital.
I know, right?
Don't take me to the Yorktown Hospital, please.
I'm telling you, there are hospitals on my list for DFW that I'm like, don't take me here.
Okay.
I will not go. We could talk about them another time, podcast. It briefly reopened as a drug and alcohol rehabilitation center, but eventually closed for good in 1992, although some sources say 1988, same general 4-year span.
Yeah.
The building was left abandoned, and over the years, it became a shell of its former self. The once bustling halls fell silent, and the hospital's eerie atmosphere began to attract attention from paranormal enthusiasts and urban explorers. After its closure, the hospital was subjected to extensive vandalism. Windows were broken, walls were graffitied, and medical equipment was stolen or destroyed. The building's decay accelerated, with water damage, mold, and structural instability making it increasingly dangerous to enter. Despite several attempts to repurpose the hospital, including plans to convert it into a rehabilitation center or a nursing home, none of these efforts came to fruition, and the building remained abandoned. So it's still abandoned to this day. Like,
God, why do they just
haven't done shit with it?
Down?
I don't know.
I think there's a lot of politics that go into knocking a building down.
I think there is too.
But I'm also like, you don't know what kind of stuff could be going on within its walls. Like,
exactly.
A building could be abandoned, but you never know.
But that's where people go to do drugs and other nefarious activities. Nefarious.
My
So
favorite kind of activity.
Hauntings. I know. I exclusively partake in nefarious activities.
Just kidding. I have never partaken in anything nefarious.
Literally never. So Yorktown Memorial Hospital is widely regarded as one of the most haunted locations in Texas. The stories of paranormal activity are numerous, with many attributing the hauntings to the suffering and deaths that occurred within its walls. So we're going to talk about some ghosts of the hospital.
Okay.
Dr. Leon Norwersky, he was a prominent figure at the facility, an older gentleman who continued practicing medicine into his 90s.
Jesus Christ.
I know.
Don't
like
work on me.
10, 20 years too long.
Don't work on me. 10? I don't want an 80-year-old working on me.
I don't think they'd be good for surgery, but I've worked with pretty old doctors that were icons.
Lifetime of knowledge.
Their management of patients is really good, but I think that's for special circumstances. But yeah, 80s is still too much. That's why I said 10 to 20 years. I was like, could be an exception.
It's true. Okay, understood.
Yeah. By the time he retired, he held the oldest medical license in Texas. Fun fact. But unfortunately, this did not guarantee patient safety under his care.
Yeah, absolutely not. Also, I don't know if I would consider that a fun fact. That sounds horrible.
Yeah, that's a scary fact. Like, the Texas Medical Board, what the fuck are you doing? Yeah, at a certain age, you should time out, I think. It should just time out.
For the benefit of others. You're only looking out for other people.
Exactly. The doctor gained notoriety for his deadly errors during surgeries. One particularly shocking incident involved him accidentally severing a patient's throat while working on their thyroid. There's considerable debate about whether the incident was intentional or accidental, but there's very little documentation to confirm it actually occurred. And I can confirm as a medical professional that sometimes things are not exactly documented as they happened, or they're not not that they lie or that they omit, but they describe it in a way that makes it sound like the error wasn't as bad as it is.
So you're saying I can totally see. I
totally understand. Yeah, I totally understand that there's not a lot of documentation about that because especially back then.
Well, so I don't think that this guy did it on purpose. He sounded
I don't
like
think so either. I think
he
was old as fuck.
But it immediately made me think of Dr. Death. That was also a Texas hospital.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep, exactly.
Okay.
So whether the legend is true or not, numerous visitors to the hospital after its closure have claimed to experience the presence of both Dr. Norwersky and his patients throughout the building. So one of the more well-known and less frightening spirits is that of a little girl named Stacy.
We're getting into the modern day ghost.
Exactly.
I love Stacy. Hello.
I know. You're going to love her. She's said to be one of the more interactive ghosts in the hospital. In life, her favorite book was The Pokey Little Puppy, which the nuns often read to her. Some claim that the book was a gift from Dr. Norwersky himself, with a note from him written inside just for her. In the afterlife, Stacy is said to visit certain areas of the hospital. She can sometimes be found in her old room on the first floor, and at other times she's spotted playing in the basement hallways. Creepy as fuck.
Yeah, why'd you hang out in the basement, girl?
Yeah. Since she loves story time, she can be drawn out by simply sitting in the library and reading her favorite book. Being a playful 8-year-old, Stacy is also known to roll a ball back and forth if asked.
I don't want that.
The TV show Ghost Adventures had an episode where they investigated Yorktown Hospital. Their team captured clear EVPs with phrases which are thought to be from Stacy. These EVPs included messages like, "You want to play?" suggesting an invitation for interaction, as well as other mysterious phrases, typically in the style of younger children. The team also encountered what is a physical manifestation, which appeared to be the bottom half of a figure with an infrared camera, as well as hearing unexplained moaning and shuffling sounds.
I feel like I nannied for a while.
Yeah.
If there's a phrase that I would think an 8-year-old would ask, even in the afterlife, there's a few. One would be like, "Hey, can you time me?"
That's true.
And then the other one would be like, "Hey, watch this." And I'm like,
"Watch this. Hey, Mom, watch this.
Hey, watch this. Hey, time me."
Yeah.
So
in my house, it's, "Hey, Mom, watch this. Hey, Mom, can I have a snack?" That's probably number 1. Number 3 is, "I farted."
Hey, that's like probably one of our top ones in our home. And we don't have kids.
Exactly.
Steven says,
I mean, like, they got it from us, so.
He says, "I tooted, it smells bad." But yeah, okay. If I heard a little girl or a little child that wasn't actually there say, hey, you want to play? Like, no, thank you. I don't want
No.
to. Thank you for asking.
I don't think I do. Are
I
you really a
don't-
child or are you a demon?
I don't want
know.
to play with real children.
This is true. It can be very boring. Although I was trying to build a castle with Legos earlier, and it was very frustrating because they've already lost half of the Legos. I bought them for Christmas because we just upgraded to the small, normal size Legos. They've been using the Lego Duplo ones that are a little bit bigger. And so they're finally old enough to where they can do the small ones. And I was trying to build this fuck-ass castle that was in the little instruction book it came with, and they've already lost a third of the pieces.
No.
And Kevin's like, oh, they're in another bin somewhere else. And I'm like, just leave them in this bin. It's the Lego bin. It holds all the Legos. Now I can't make my castle. I was mad. I was pissed.
Let me time you. Let me try.
Fun. Yeah, time me.
Okay, so
Stacy, cutie pie, little cutie patootie, go read her a book and she'll play with you.
I'll read.
Next are the Felician sisters. The nuns
I don't like that name.
I know, me either. It gives religious haunting that we don't like.
It also reminds me of fellatio.
That's true. That too. I did not think of that, but I think you read more smut than I do.
Something's going on.
Something's in the air.
My chair. It's this new chair. Okay. No, it can lean back.
Watch you fall. If you fall, I'm not cutting it out. I will not cut it out. I will clip that and post it every single day.
Well, I'm not going to fall. I'm a grown-up. So what's it? Not fellatio. What's
fellatio? The Felician sisters.
Felician.
Yes. Not the fellatio sisters. That's like literally the opposite of what they were. It could not be more opposite. But yeah, so the nuns who once operated the hospital have also been seen wandering the grounds as apparitions. One sister has been seen in different spots around the building, and photos of her in her habit have been caught as well. And that's one thing I don't want to see is a nun, a ghost nun. I've seen too many movies.
Yeah, for sure. Wait, you said in her habit?
Yeah, that's what they call what they wear.
Ooh.
It's called the habit. Yeah, the little head thing, and yeah.
I never knew that.
Along with these frequent sightings, the ghostly nuns are known to be especially stern about rules and proper behavior. There have been reports of people dressed inappropriately for a hospital or with tattoos being confronted by these spirits who are said to scratch, choke, push, or otherwise force them to leave. That's where I'm going to get scratched, girl. They're going to see my sleeve and be like, nah, bitch. Yeah.
I only have teeny ones, but they'll find them. There's that one
They'll
too.
find them. They can see through your soul.
They'll just grab this
They know
arm.
you have them. Yeah. Yeah. So a man named Doug Richards is believed to be one of the active spirits at the location.
Doug.
Littlest Doug, just little Dougie Doug. Little is known about him except that he was a heavy equipment mechanic who mysteriously died there in 1973. He's said to roam the halls and his presence is recognizable by his tall stature and his typical outfit of a white t-shirt and blue jeans. Yeah.
Poor Doug. He's probably killed by some of the machinery he was working on.
I know,
or something.
right?
Speaking
something
of,
like
our
that.
Garbage disposal is not running.
That's devastating.
Sorry.
I'm so sorry. I'm
Poor
sorry
Doug.
for your loss.
White
Poor
shirt,
Doug.
blue jeans, one of my favorite outfits a man can wear.
I know, right? It's hot. While the facility was a drug rehabilitation center, a young man known as TJ reportedly arrived seeking help. When he rang the back doorbell, no one responded. It's unclear whether the bell malfunctioned or if the nurse on duty had dozed off, but unfortunately, TJ didn't receive assistance in time and his body was discovered on the steps the next morning. To this day, his apparition is occasionally seen wandering the hall near the back door, and some claim to see a shadowy figure in the same area.
That's sad. This story today has the best names we've had all season.
Oh, I know. We've got Doug, TJ, Stacy, the Fellatio sisters, Wersky.
That's great.
These are like, I couldn't have picked them better if I tried.
I know. I love it.
I couldn't have. I know.
But poor TJ.
Now, I know. Poor dude. That sucks. The most violent event to occur at the facility left a lasting and very literal mark on the place.
What?
The story tells of a love triangle involving a female employee, a coworker, and a patient.
Oh my God.
There's nothing more disgusting to me than having any kind of relations with a patient.
Look, I was
Patients
into it.
to me are disgusting. But yeah, you're into it.
I'm like, oh my God, a love triangle?
Yeah. In some versions, it was a nurse and two patients instead. Like,
that
just grosses me out so much.
That's too much. I like the one because it's like in Grey's Anatomy, like Denny Duquette falling in love with Izzy.
So you're thinking about that. I'm thinking about like the patients I see on a day-to-day basis, and I'm like, ugh, ew, ugh.
If you're not seeing patient,
them. You're not seeing them. You're not experiencing cleaning their butts. You know what I mean?
True. You're right. Absolutely right. I'm sure
I'm
it's
watching
nasty.
poop come out of these people's buttholes.
But I'm not.
There's no way I can think of them romantically. But I'm glad that you're having a positive idea of this.
Oh my God, a love triangle?
Yeah. I'm like, oh my God, shit coming out of your ass? Like, that's what I'm thinking.
Hot.
Sexy. Okay, so in both in both versions of the story, the woman was caught in the boiler room with one lover by the other, and the one who discovered them reacted violently. He stabbed the woman multiple times, killing her. The man she was with managed to grab the knife and ultimately killed the attacker in self-defense or out of retaliation. To this day, bloodstains on the walls remain.
Ew.
The building's caretaker claims to have had the blood forensically tested, and the results, it was confirmed to be human blood, and they can't get it off.
They can't get it off.
Yeah.
Tear the building down. I'm going to say it again.
I know. So some other more general hauntings. The hospital is home to various other less identified spirits and apparitions. From orbs to shadow figures, almost everything has been captured on camera at this haunted site. It's also a hotspot for capturing exceptional EVPs, with many sessions revealing clear voices. Shadows are often seen wandering the halls, especially in the old ER operating room areas, and screams are occasionally heard coming from the labor and delivery ward, which seems not malevolent, just like
no, just
an imprint of energy. Another potentially malevolent entity is said to manifest throughout the building as a dark shadow figure with glowing red eyes, and many visiting investigators have had unsettling encounters with it. Yeah. I didn't find anything to elaborate on that. I really wanted to know more, but I couldn't really find...
thing?
Yeah, I really wanted to know more, but couldn't find anything. The current caretaker of the building has experienced enough ghostly encounters to last several lifetimes. He reports that when the lights are on at the nurse's station, everything feels calm and he believes he's alone. However, when he turns the lights off, he's seen numerous figures walking around. Some appear normal and might be mistaken for guests, while others resemble patients who belong in a hospital. Additionally, there's a staircase at the front of the building, kept off limits by a door with a glass pane. Every evening, it's said that a tapping or rapping sound can be heard coming from the glass pane. I know.
Dude.
Now, we're going to get into the specific areas.
Okay, before I forget, this color is really beautiful on you, and you just look stunning right now.
What color? The purple?
Yeah.
Thank you.
You look
Thank
stunning.
you so much. Oh my God, thank you.
I'm just like, I'm scared, but also you're beautiful.
I'm glad I can calm your scared soul with my beauty.
Me too, because I'm like, I'm kind of freaking out. I don't know why.
This is kind of scary.
This one spooked me.
The chapel is considered the epicenter of paranormal activity at the hospital.
Of course it is.
Of course, right? That religious shit. It was a place of solace and prayer for patients, families, and staff. And many believe that the spirits of those who sought comfort here, there remain. Many believe the spirits of those who sought comfort there remain. What? I cannot read my own words. Thank you. Visitors have reported hearing the sound of an organ playing, even though the chapel has been abandoned for decades. The music is often described as faint and mournful, adding to the eerie atmosphere. Shadowy figures have been seen moving through the chapel, often disappearing when approached. Although, who the fuck is approaching these shadowy figures? Is what I want to know.
Jen, I think you would.
Zach, okay, maybe I would. I'm like, that's some Zach Bagans ass shit.
I'm good. Also,
I'd be dragging you with me. Like, let's go.
Organ music has always made me scared. Like, it just...
We've talked about it before. It's so unsettling.
Yeah.
It's not great. Sorry, I had to sneak a few french fries in.
No, I'm jealous.
It's terrible. You don't want it. Some believe these are the spirits of nuns who once worked at the hospital. Many report an overwhelming sense of dread or sadness when entering the chapel, and some have even claimed to feel an unseen presence standing close to them. There have been also reports of apparitions wearing religious garb, possibly the spirits of the Felician sisters, like we said. And those figures are often seen kneeling in prayer or standing near the altar.
Okay. As long as they don't bother me, you do what you want.
I know. It's fine. Live your dreams. The operating room is another hotspot for paranormal activity. It was the site of countless surgeries, some of which ended in tragedy.
Well,
yeah, right? With that fucking throat slitting. Paranormal investigators have captured EVPs of moans, cries, and even whispered pleas for help. These voices are believed to belong to patients who died during surgery. Sudden drops in temperature are commonly reported in the operating. Sorry, a french fry was trying to come back up.
You've been truffled.
Often in those cold spots are often accompanied by feelings of unease or fear. Some visitors have reported seeing ghostly figures dressed in surgical gowns standing over operating tables as if performing a procedure. The maternity ward is said to be haunted by the spirits of mothers and infants who passed away during childbirth. The sound of crying babies has been heard in the maternity ward, even though the hospital has been empty for decades. These cries are often described as faint and distant. Ghostly figures of nurses in old-fashioned uniforms have been seen tending to invisible patients, and some believe these are the spirits of nurses who worked in the maternity ward. Visitors have also reported feeling the touch of unseen hands or hearing whispers in their ears while in the maternity ward. These experiences are often accompanied by a sense of sadness or loss.
I wonder, like, my thought immediately goes to, like, if a pregnant woman went in, if there would be, because you remember, like, there was the one about the bride, right, where, like soon-to-be brides would walk and the bride, whatever.
Yeah.
So there's something along the lines of, like, if a pregnant woman went into the maternity ward, if, like, if something was wrong, protect her, or if, like, who knows?
Or maybe they could
I'm not
detect if something was wrong. Yeah.
Any pregnant women
don't recommend it, especially in its state of disrepair. Maybe
but
not safe, but
yes,
that's a curious thought. Yeah, that's a good question.
Kitten.
Curious. So the hallways and patient rooms are rife with reports of ghostly activity. These areas were once filled with the sounds of footsteps, conversations, and medical equipment, but now they are silent, except for the unexplained phenomena. Voices have been heard in the hallways, often calling out names or speaking in hushed tones. Those are the nurses talking shit.
Yeah, probably.
These voices... Yeah. Did you see that bitch?
Sure that those sisters are called fellatio.
These voices are believed to belong to former patients or staff members. The sound of footsteps echoing through the hallways is a common report, and some visitors have even claimed to see footprints in the dust, despite no one else being present. Full-bodied apparitions of former patients have been seen wandering the hallways or sitting in patient rooms, often described as translucent or misty. Poltergeist activity, such as doors slamming shut, objects moving on their own, and lights flickering, is frequently reported in the patient rooms. Some believe these are the actions of restless spirits. Dang. Now we get to the basement.
It is the morgue?
It doesn't say anything about a morgue in this hospital, but I believe that they probably had.
They probably had to use it as the morgue. All them people dying.
Yeah. So the basement is perhaps the most feared area. It was used for storage and mechanical systems, but is also rumored to have been the site of neglect and mistreatment. Paranormal investigators have reported encountering aggressive entities in the basement. These spirits are said to push, scratch, or even attack those who enter. The basement is often described as having an oppressive, malevolent atmosphere, and many visitors report feeling a sense of dread or being watched. Loud bangs, knocks, and screams have been heard in the basement, often accompanied by the feeling of an unseen presence. So obviously, Yorktown Memorial Hospital has attracted the attention of numerous paranormal investigation teams and has been featured in various TV shows and documentaries. And Ghost Adventures has been there and a couple others. But when Ghost Adventures was there, the team captured several pieces of compelling evidence, including EVPs of voices pleading for help, shadow figures moving through the chapel and hallways, and unexplained noises such as footsteps and bangs. Another well-known paranormal series, Paranormal State, also investigated the hospital. Their findings included strange audio recordings of crying babies and whispered conversations, personal experiences of being touched or pushed by unseen entities, and visual evidence of shadowy figures in the operating room and basement. The hospital has become a local legend, with many urban explorers and thrill seekers attempting to uncover its secrets. However, trespassing on the property is illegal, and many have faced legal consequences for attempting to explore the site. So PSA, don't go there.
Don't go.
So the hauntings at Yorktown Memorial Hospital are often attributed to the suffering and deaths that occurred within its walls. I believe that the intense emotions experienced by patients and staff have left an imprint on the building, creating residual hauntings. Yorktown Memorial Hospital is a place where history and hauntings intertwine. Its rise as a beacon of hope and healing, followed by its decline and abandonment, has left a lasting legacy. The countless reports of paranormal activity have cemented its reputation as one of the most haunted locations in the United States. Whether you believe in ghosts or not, the stories of Yorktown Memorial Hospital are a testament to the power of human emotion and the enduring impact of suffering. The hospital's haunted halls continue to captivate those who dare to explore its mysteries, including that its legacy will live on for the generations to come. And of course, I have a Reddit story.
Oh, right.
It's called
Did they
My Visit to York. I think you could do a tour.
Okay.
At this point. I could be wrong, though. But it's called My Visit to Yorktown Hospital. This was posted like 6 years ago. So we had heard this place was haunted and that you can get creepy things to happen if you were being a dick to the paranormal. Just one way to start it off.
Okay.
I've always been able to feel things and have had that eerie sixth sense some people joke about having. The day we went was on Halloween 2018. It was about a 2-hour drive away and was supposed to be fun. I went with one of my best friends at the time and my husband, both of which are huge skeptics. Right off the bat, when we get into the parking lot, my alarms in my head are screaming at me not to go in there.
Oh.
That something in there is bad. And of course, like an idiot I go in. We get inside and we're surrounded by candles on the desk, greeted by the character takers and tour guides.
Oh,
we were told we can only... Yeah, I think at one point they did do tours.
I was like, why the fuck are there candles at the desk?
Yeah, I know, right? I'm like, who fucking set this up?
Okay, so it's not abandoned at this point. I was thinking...
Yeah,
okay.
it was abandoned, but yeah, I guess they're using it for tours.
Okay.
We're told we can only use our phone lights and can take photos, and we begin our tour. The hospital had so many open doorways, but they had these cage walls to keep people from climbing over and taking things from inside. There was so much graffiti on the walls and holes in the ceiling and cracks, etc. We come up to a room full of old dolls and a rocking chair, and I feel a creep on my forearm. The caretaker and guide tell us about a small child who will play with guests if they take her ball and roll it down the hallway. And if you take a doll from her room, she is not thrilled with you and can scratch you. Of course, we couldn't expect a normal night on Halloween in a haunted location because once we started moving on in the tour, it began to storm. I know, right? That's the perfect atmosphere. Perfect. We start following the guide to the next hallway, and they continue telling us about all the amazing artifacts in the hospital still intact, like the metal bed that was just a slab that so many have died on. Once we enter the kitchen, I immediately feel a difference in energy, like something was following us but not hurting us. The guide then asks if anyone gets the burning sensation to speak up, because the other night when they did a lockdown investigation, one of the girls on the team with tattoos got burn marks out of nowhere.
Okay.
Yeah. I didn't think much of it until we started walking down the hall where another patient, TJ, died waiting for someone to help him because his friends abandoned him in the doorway. I could feel cold on my hands and arms. When we went upstairs, we went to see the chapel, and I felt so lightheaded standing and staring into the broken room. Down the hallway from the chapel, I could smell sulfur and rotting eggs. The smell was so bad, I had to cover my nose. Is that a daemon?
Diamond.
That's a daemon.
Nope. Not for me.
Not for me. When we walked further down the hallway, we passed a room and a huge waft of soap hit my nose, and I felt a hard tug on my backpack I was wearing and another tug at my hand. On this section of the tour, no one was behind me, and my group had gone ahead of me as it felt like I was being held back. I walked towards the front of the hallway and get an urge to look down the hallway no one was supposed to be in. I saw a tall figure like a skinny man with one hand bent out like he was waving to me, and a bright white light on the other hand like a phone light but brighter. I started calling my husband's name because I thought it was him. He has a tendency to wander off, and he came out from the stairwell everyone else was on, and I couldn't believe it. I saw an actual dark figure with yellow eyes. One of the guys came up to me and asked if I was all right because I couldn't believe it. Was this what the smell and the tug was from, or am I just crazy? When we finally got downstairs to exit, I told my husband and the best friend in the car that I saw something, and both said that they could feel cold gusts of winds, but thought it was the storm. After that tour, I had night terrors for almost a month. I would wake up crying and shaking because I could see the figure in my room, but whenever I'd be able to actually get up, it was gone. Eventually, I'll go back because after this, so many other things have happened to me and my gifts, and that's it.
Oh, that's another hitchhiking ghost.
I know. I wonder if it was
Thank you.
TJ.
That I feel bad for that guy. I mean, I feel bad for all of them.
Yeah. I know a lot of people, especially like at trauma hospitals, I've heard a lot of stories where like people will roll up to the ED like doors, shove their friends out because they're like also involved in like illicit things with like gunshot wounds, and like shove them out and then fucking haul ass out of there. So many stories I've heard of that. So it doesn't surprise me, but it's shitty for sure.
For real.
But yeah, if you don't, they probably did not want to get involved in whatever was going to happen to them.
No. Oh.
But yeah, that's the story of Yorktown Memorial Hospital.
How have I never heard of that? And it's in Texas.
I know, I've never heard of it either.
I guess it's so far south.
Yeah.
That's like a whole different state.
Honestly, you could fit multiple states within our state.
And we know we talked about it before.
Culturally, it's just, it varies so much.
Yeah.
It's so different down there.
It's southeast of San Antonio. Yeah, that's like a whole different world.
Mm-hmm. Is Corpus, because you went to school in Corpus, right?
Yeah.
Where's that in relation? Is that like south? That's southeast of San Antonio, right?
I think it's just south.
East or south?
Let me see. Let me look it up. Because
I
just
remember how far you were.
We would pass by San Antonio on our drive to school, and then it would take us 2 hours on a road that was a fucking nothing, and it was just terrible. Let me see. Let me scroll out. So yeah, Corpus it's a little southeast, not super. So I'm gonna look up Yorktown.
Yeah.
And see
I'd
how
be curious.
Close Texas. I misspelled Texas because I'm not used to my husband's keyboard.
Turks is better.
Texas. Okay. Here's Yorktown. Oh, it's teeny. So it's like, I don't even know how to describe this. So San Antonio, Corpus, and Yorktown is like here.
Okay. So it's more east.
It's more east, not as far as Corpus from San Antonio, and it's more inland.
Yeah. You know, I've heard that your college is haunted.
What?
Yeah.
Where?
I heard there. I'm trying to think if it was that school
I mean, I'm sure Corpus itself has a lot of hauntings. I know there's like a ship down there and stuff.
Yeah, there is that. I know. I have that ship on our list of like topics for someday. Yeah, apparently there's some hauntings there.
Interesting.
It's number 3 overall at haunted schools in the country.
Should next week,
according to My San Antonio,
we do haunted schools? Mostly because I also really love the show School Spirits. And
I've never heard of that show.
Oh my God. School Spirits season 1 is on Netflix. It's a Paramount show. And season 2, it's all the episodes are out now, and I freaking love it. It's high school, like, and there's like, so there's ghosts from like all different generations. So I'm like really into like school hauntings. Next week, let's do an episode about school hauntings.
Okay, let's do it.
That sounds awesome.
Down.
It sounds awesome, sad, down. But awesome.
Yeah. All right. What are you talking about today?
Well,
did you already tell me?
No, I haven't. I'm pivoting a little bit from the usual. So something that I've always been super passionate about and super into, and that is UFO abductions.
Okay. I'm here for this.
Alien encounters, alien abductions. And I have 2 stories, or 2 encounters, if you will. And the first one is Betty and Barney Hill, which I automatically, I've heard both of these in like different podcasts and different like documentaries and stuff, but Betty and Barney Hill always stuck with me because they were an early 60s, like, interracial couple. So in the 1960s, interracial couples were still, like, Loving Day, I can't remember. Loving Day was a little after my parents were born, and I come from an interracial couple, so big deal for me.
Yeah.
But yeah, they were a married couple living in Portsmouth, New Hampshire during the early 1960s. Betty was born in 1919 and worked as a social worker for the state of New Hampshire. Barney was born in 1922, and he was a postal worker and former member of the U.S. Army during World War II. The Hills were both well-educated and active in their community. They attended a Unitarian church, participated in the civil rights movement, and were known as intelligent, respectable members of society. Yeah, their interracial marriage at a time when racial tensions were still high in America added another layer of scrutiny to their lives, making them perhaps more reluctant to seek public attention. That's what's so interesting about their story. So, and I truly,
that's true.
I believe in ghosts. I believe in aliens. I truly, truly do. Betty and Barney, they enjoyed traveling and they took road trips throughout the United States. And on one of their fateful journeys in September 1961, which was supposed to be just a relaxing getaway for the couple, it would become one of the most well-documented and controversial UFO encounters in history.
I think I've heard of them.
Okay.
Yeah,
I was have you heard
of the name sounds familiar, but I don't remember what happened to them.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Okay. It's a long story. So the incident happened somewhere between September 19th and 20th, 1961. So within like that 24-hour time period. On the evening of September 19th, the Hills were returning from a vacation in Niagara Falls in Montreal. They were driving south along U.S. Route 3 through the White Mountains of New Hampshire. The rural highway was mostly empty at the late hour with only the occasional vehicle passing by.
Yeah.
So at approximately 10:30 p.m., Betty noticed a bright light in the sky that seemed to be following their car. Initially, she assumed it was a star or a planet, but she soon realized it was moving erratically and growing larger, as if it was getting closer.
Yeah.
Barney was just focused on the road and just dismissed it as an airplane because, of course, like, we love Barney, but also, like, come on. Men are always like, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
So he said it was just likely traveling to a nearby airport. However, as the light continued to change direction and descend, it became clear that it wasn't behaving like a conventional aircraft. So again, it just started getting closer.
Damn.
The Hills pulled over at a scenic turnout near Twin Mountain to get a better look. Using binoculars, I love them, Betty observed, because, like, they were traveling. They were going to, like, Niagara Falls. And,
like, you love binoculars.
No,
I was like...
I love them for having binoculars. And people have these. Steven and I went to the opera a few weeks ago. And people had binoculars to watch the opera.
I feel like I had binoculars as a kid.
Yeah, same. But
what happened? And, like, adults
now.
had binoculars. Like, my grandpa had some high-powered, fancy ones for the 90s, early 2000s. What happened? I don't know what he used them for.
I don't know. My mom got my niece and nephews binoculars for Christmas this last year.
Yeah.
And they couldn't have given a shit about them. But I was like, I mean, it was a bunch of stuff, but, like, there was other stuff and they were more excited about. But I was like, can I have the binoculars?
Yeah.
And I go, I guess, to the opera?
What, for the opera? Yeah, I was like, what would you use them for?
I've gotten really into birds.
Okay, I was going to say, I think birds would be my first
Or
thought.
like, you're going to see pretty mountains or whatever.
Yeah.
You just, anyway,
Did you want to see
I'd
up
be into
close?
some binoculars.
There's this bird TikTok. I came across the live one day, and it was just like a video of a bird feeder somewhere up north, like New Hampshire or something.
Feed?
Yeah, a live feed of a bird feeder. The most beautiful birds I've ever seen. I watched that for an hour. I don't do anything for an hour. I watched that. It was so peaceful.
Something happens in your 30s, guys,
I'm
where you just
you.
become into birds. I had a friend I worked with, and that was her gift for her husband or something for like their anniversary. It was one of those live feed bird feeders.
Yeah.
And she would watch it at work. And I was like, this is fascinating. Sometimes she'll post videos of like cool birds that come. And I'm like, I should get one for like my dad. I should get one for me. I should gift everyone a live stream bird feeder.
Yeah, I know. I've already been planning on when we move into our new house, like, where am I going to put a bird feeder? What kind of bird feeder do I want? Or is it smart to do it right now with the bird flu? I don't know. But I'm telling you, it was the most peaceful experience I've had. The most peaceful thing I watched on TikTok. Everything else is chaos.
I would go bird watching with some binoculars.
Yeah.
I bet you that's what Betty and Barney did.
I bet that's what they were doing.
B&B.
Yeah.
B&B Hill.
I forgot about them. I was thinking about the birds.
Well, with her binoculars, which is how we derailed this, Betty observed a large glowing craft with multicolored lights spinning around.
Oh my gosh.
Crazy. The object appeared to be moving with deliberate intent, responding to their movements as if it was aware of their presence.
What?
Barney, still skeptical like any man, just continued to keep driving. So as they proceeded through, I'm going to say this, and everyone up north is going to be really mad at me. Franconia Notch. We'll see. Franconia Notch. Yeah. The object began descending rapidly, eventually hovering directly in front of their vehicle near Indian Head. It was at this moment that Barney's skepticism turned to fear because it was just looking at him right there.
Yeah.
Above his car.
At that point, I'd be shitting my pants.
Yeah. So Barney stopped the car in the middle of the road and he stepped out with his binoculars.
What's that right in front of him?
To get a closer look. I mean, that's what you
Sure.
He later described seeing a large disc-shaped craft with windows through which he could see humanoid figures staring down at him. According to Barney's later recollections, one of the beings seemed to be communicating with him telepathically, telling him not to move. Overcome with terror, he rushed back to the car, exclaiming to Betty, "They're going to capture us." And so they started speeding away, and then a series of beeping and buzzing sounds filled the air around them. They said their car vibrated, and both Betty and Barney began to feel an odd tingling sensation. I'm like, is anyone else turned on right now?
Where? I know. I was like, what?
Too much smut.
Smut.
At this point, their memories became fragmented. So they recalled turning off of the road and encountering a group of humanoid beings standing in the road before them. Then everything went blank.
Wow.
The next thing they knew, they were 35 miles further down the highway with little recollection of how they had gotten there.
That's crazy. Were they driving when they came to?
We'll get there.
Or were they just in their car? Okay.
Because, they just showed up. Anyway, okay. The entire experience had lasted about 2 hours, but they could only remember just a few disjointed moments.
Yeah.
So,
wow.
The Hills arrived home around dawn, and they both just felt disoriented and uneasy. And over the next several days, they began to notice a series of oddities. Their watches had stopped working and never functioned again. The car had strange, perfectly circular marks on its trunk, which caused a compass needle to spin erratically.
Oh my God.
Barney's shoes were inexplicably scuffed as if he had been dragged. Betty's dress was torn at the hem and zipper, and later she discovered an odd pinkish powder on it that could not be identified.
Weird.
And both of them just felt exhausted, and like this sense of dread had overcome them. They weren't able to make sense of their missing time, both of them.
Yeah, that would be the most disorienting thing, I think. Like, not the physical evidence, but the loss of time.
And like not just your own, but your partner. Like how terrifying.
Yeah.
So Betty began reading about UFOs and reported the sighting to Peace Air Force Base. An officer took her report but largely dismissed it. However, she soon started having vivid and disturbing dreams. So about a week after the encounter, Betty began experiencing a series of 5 consecutive nightmares, each with a strikingly similar narrative. In these dreams, she and Barney were taken aboard a spacecraft by small gray-skinned humanoids with large heads and slanted eyes. So that's where that very like iconic cartoonish of like the oblong.
It came from this story?
Yes.
Whoa.
They were subjected to medical examinations that included strange devices scanning their bodies. And Betty recalled a particular procedure where a long needle was inserted into her navel. She believed it was some kind of pregnancy test. Or in my head, it's just like the understanding of how our
like,
life
what is that? Yeah.
comes to be. Like, I mean,
yeah.
Like how weird.
What's the purpose of this?
Yeah, how weird. One of the more compelling details from Betty's dreams involved a star map. So in her dream, one of the beings showed her a 3-dimensional map with various stars connected by lines, explaining that these lines represented trade routes. Betty later drew the map from memory under hypnosis, which led to speculation that it matched the Zeta Reticuli star system. She was hypnotized when she was doing this. So she in 1964, both Betty and Barney were struggling with anxiety and gaps in their memory. And they just started to drive them a little bit crazy. They sought help from a Dr. Benjamin Simon, who is a psychiatrist and hypnotherapist specializing in amnesia and post-traumatic stress.
Yeah.
And then over the course of several sessions, Simon hypothesized. Not a doctor. No, he hypnotized them separately. So he hypnotized Betty and Barney separately. And then under hypnosis, they both recalled being taken aboard a spacecraft.
Spice Girls.
A
spice rack.
What a dream. But taken aboard a spacecraft and subjected to examinations. So separately, under hypnosis, they both had these stories. And that's what gets me too, is I'm like, if you're under I've never been hypnotized. I want to be. But
I don't know if I can be.
Why?
I don't know. I just have this feeling that I
you
won't
don't know
be
if it's
able
possible.
to be.
Like, you just, I got it.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's like, I don't know if I can be because
I believe in it. Yeah. I just think like me as a person, like with my ADHD, it's really hard for me to focus on what they're saying. And so I don't know if I'd be able to get into the zone.
I get that. I would love to. So if anyone knows a good hypno.
There's one near me.
I want to do.
I've been wanting to go.
Like, what am I not?
I want to do some light hypnosis first, just to like see if I can. Just like something random. And then maybe to stop saying the word like so fucking much. That would be a great
I get it. For me, I get it.
Or stop eating food. Just don't eat food.
You barely eat. You have bagels and fries.
And a Pop-Tart.
Oh, yeah. A Pop-Tart.
Maybe condition me to only eat vegetables. And then I want to do like the past life regression shit.
Yeah.
That costs more money. But I want to make sure I can be hypnotized before I drop like 400.
I get it.
Anyways, carry on.
But so one of the most striking aspects of the sessions was the consistency of their accounts.
Yeah.
Barney described the beings as having large wraparound eyes. Again, that's the hallmark of like the great alien archetype that we have.
Yeah.
And he also described feeling helplessness and terrified, whereas Betty's accounts were more inquisitive. Okay. So they like their experience were very different on the woman versus the man. Yeah. Which of course, like, and that's my whole thing is like, woman makes life, like, you know, that's what they were probably trying to study, because I believe her. And then so initially the Hills did not seek publicity. Obviously, they're an interracial couple. They know that they sound crazy.
They don't want that. They don't want to catch that smoke.
No, but in 1965 their story was leaked to the press, and the Boston Traveler published a sensationalized version of their experience, which led to national attention.
Wow.
Skeptics argued that the encounter was a combination of stress, sleep deprivation, and cultural influences. Others suggested that Betty's dreams had influenced their recovered memories under hypnosis. Despite this, the Hills remained that their experience was genuine, which is another thing that I'm like, this couple is, why would they put themselves
they've nothing to gain from this.
Yeah, and I'm like,
and they didn't even go. It's not like they went to the press. It was like
the
story was leaked, and they came to them. They didn't want any of that attention.
No,
they weren't trying to, get fame or notoriety from it.
Yeah,
or money. I'm sure.
Yeah. So the Hills encounter was considered the first widely publicized alien abduction case and set the template for future reports. Several key aspects of their story became common tropes in UFO lore, including missing time, medical examinations, and telepathic communication. And that's another thing is like, this wasn't heard of. You know, this wasn't they weren't going based on other stories that they had heard. This was, anyway, the case was chronicled in the 1966 book, The Interrupted Journey by John F. Fuller, and later adapted into the 1975 TV movie, The UFO Incident, starring James Earl Jones as Barney.
Really? Well, damn.
Yeah. The star map is the theory that remains a point of debate among UFO researchers. But while skeptics continue to question the validity of their claims, the Hills case remains one of the most compelling in UFO history. Whether a real abduction, a psychological phenomenon, or something in between, the Betty and Barney Hill story continues to intrigue researchers, skeptics, and believers alike. Which,
damn,
I just fully believe it. Again, this was like a normal, educated couple who would not have put themselves in any amount of scrutiny, already being an interracial couple in the early 60s.
Yeah.
And they
just want to live under the radar and enjoy their life.
Yeah, they were like, I don't know, they were fighting for civil rights. They were like, you know, going on little vacations. They were crazy people, like holed up in their house.
Yeah, like conspiracy theorists and
Yeah, they just seemed like a genuine couple.
Yeah.
So my next story is same kind of UFO encounter type thing. It's another one that I wholeheartedly believe. And it's the Allagash story, the Allagash Abduction. And it revolves around four men.
I've heard of this.
The four guys who were like on a trip together.
I've heard of this. Yeah.
This is another thing where I was like, I just don't think it comes down to people, right? Like I'm very much a people, like I'm very intuitive about intentions, and I just find it really hard to believe that these four guys together would come up with this. So this is another, I'm like, I love UFOs. I fully believe in aliens, and I'm like, come and get me, babe. Come and get me. Up. You see what's going on?
Do you see what's going on? Can you please fucking do something?
Help me.
The time is now.
I know. If you're here, Stephen always jokes that in Independence Day, like when the aliens do come, obviously they're not good aliens in Independence Day. But the people who are standing on the roof of the skyscrapers with like, take me with you, or like, we love you. And then they like immediately die. Steven's always like, that would be you. And I was like, that would be me.
Honestly, that's fine because I don't want to stick around for whatever the fuck is going to happen next.
Me either.
I don't want to stick around for that shit. Now I have down bad stuck in my head.
What a beautiful thing to have stuck in your head. And a beautiful image of the spacecraft and the glowing light on
and
her.
And Taylor Swift like on the stage. I spun my mic.
It's okay. I've been hitting the desk with my little fidget. Anyway, so the Allagash abduction is one of another famous and well-documented alien abduction case. It involves four men. Jack, I'm going to say Weiner, because if I say Wiener, I'm going to laugh. There's Jack Weiner, Jim Weiner, Charles or Charlie Fultz, and Charles Rack. So we got Weiner and Rack.
Oh my God.
Who were all art students at the Massachusetts College of Art. In August 1976, they embarked on a camping trip in the Allagash Wilderness Waterway in Maine. It's another thing. I think a lot of UFO sightings have happened in New England. Yeah. And I do not think that that's a coincidence.
No, I know. There's so much shit that goes on up there that, I don't think it's a coincidence either.
Oh, so I love aliens. In August 1976, they embarked, I told you, in Waterway, Maine, an area known for its dense forests, pristine lakes, and remote location. Their intention was to enjoy nature, go fishing, and create art inspired by the wilderness. How wholesome. How fucking wholesome. And probably do a little bit of drugs because it was 1976. None of the men had any prior interest in UFOs or the paranormal, which makes their eventual experience even more compelling. Again, because I don't think that these types of guys... Anyway. August 20th, 1976. On the night of August 20th, the four men were camping near Eagle Lake. After spending the day fishing and exploring, they decided to take a canoe trip out onto the lake to do some night fishing. Not my cup of tea. I'm not going to fish in the dark. I'm not going to fish in the day.
Dark. I'm not going to fucking fish in the dark.
Oh, I do like fishing.
Do you like
not
to fish?
In the dark. I don't like to be, first of all, I don't like lakes. I don't really do lakes. I like rivers. I like oceans. I don't really do lakes.
I don't like, because it's just sitting there.
Yeah. And I watched Friday the 13th, probably too young.
Probably.
And I just don't trust
if you're watching it in fourth grade. Yeah.
I loved it, but I'm like, anyway, don't go to lakes.
No lakes.
To ensure that they could find their way back, they built a large campfire on the shore, estimating that it would burn for at least a couple of hours to just kind of see it.
Yeah.
They floated in their canoe, and Charlie Foltz was the first to notice a bright light hovering the treetops in the distance. The object was an intensely bright, spherical craft emitting a pulsating, multicolored glow. Initially, the men thought it could be a searchlight or a helicopter, but as the object began moving erratically, they realized it was unlike anything they'd ever seen. Charlie grabbed a flashlight and began signaling at the object in an attempt to communicate, because of course.
Yeah.
And almost immediately, the object responded by changing its motion, moving toward them with sudden and deliberate speed. Big mistake. Big mistake. Huge.
Big mistake. Huge.
As the craft approached, a powerful beam of light shot down from it. Did you really beam me up? Illuminating the canoe and the water around them. At that moment, a deep sense of panic set in, and the men frantically paddled toward the shore. But the next thing they remembered was standing by the dying embers of their campfire, something that should have taken hours to happen, yet they only had been on the water for what felt like a few minutes. So again, there's that missing time.
Yeah.
It was at this point they realized they were experiencing missing time. They had no memory of how they got back to shore or what happened in the interim. And then in the following days, man started to experience odd symptoms that were all very similar. Vivid nightmares. All four began having eerily similar dreams about strange humanoid beings with elongated heads and large black eyes, examining them in a sterile environment.
Wow.
And they all started to they noticed like strange marks on their bodies, including puncture wounds and unexplained bruises.
They were still getting those? Like they were still waking up with those new ones every day, or just from that one event? They were finding
them. They were noticing them, that they had no, and like bruises were developing on them.
Yeah.
Of like, especially if you get if your blood is drawn or something.
Yeah. It takes a few days to. Yeah.
And they all had intense fear and anxiety. So the experience left them with unshakable feeling that something beyond their understanding had occurred. It's kind of like, this is gonna be kind of dark and kind of scary, but what it makes me think of is when women are drugged and they know something bad has happened, but they don't have any of that time. They cannot remember. Like, I cannot imagine.
No, that's would be terrifying.
And then for all four of them to be having the same experience.
Yeah, I mean, exactly.
Thankfully, like you have that like camaraderie, but also
it's like so fucking sucks.
That's all I can think about is that I'm like This is so scary.
Yeah.
So there's some more hypnosis, which I'm like, let's do it. Let's get hypnotized.
Fucking do it.
Years later, in the 80s. So this happened, sometime in the 80s. They couldn't give me an exact date. But so the initial thing happened in 1976. So it's at least 4 years, probably more. Jim Weiner, suffered a head injury that led to a series of neurological issues, including seizures. And during his medical examinations, he confided in a doctor about his recurring nightmares, which led him to suspect something more significant had happened that night in Allagash. Jim and the other three men eventually underwent hypnosis sessions conducted by Dr. Raymond Fowler, who is a renowned UFO investigator. And under hypnosis, their memories of the missing time surfaced, and what they recalled was both terrifying and eerily consistent across all four individuals.
That's crazy to have 4 stories all coincide. Like
while being
that's
under
undeniable
hypnosis.
Proof to me. Yeah, exactly.
I mean, it's one thing to have a shared story, but even like criminals, right, who like are like, let's get our story straight. We have the same story.
Yeah, there's details that are
discrepancies.
Different.
Yeah, or someone just sucks at lying.
Yeah.
But they all described being taken aboard the craft where they were subjected to medical examinations. The beings, again, they all like said that they were gray alien archetypes, communicated telepathically. So just like the Hills, this telepathic sort of communication. And they performed procedures on the men, including taking samples of their skin, bodily fluids, and even inserting probes into their bodies. And that's another thing, too. I don't think anyone would willingly be like, yeah, they probed me, because that's how invasive and how like intimate.
Yeah, especially at the time, like, hey, they stuck a rod at my ass. That was not the time period for that to be well received.
No. The 80s for men, no.
Yeah,
there's so much
absolutely
toxic
not.
Masculinity.
Yeah.
So
you wouldn't say that unless you really thought that happened.
And they also all recalled seeing strange technological devices inside the craft. Yeah. So, as with most UFO abduction cases, the Allagash abduction was met with skepticism. Some researchers suggested that their experience could have been the result of sleep paralysis hallucinations, or even elaborate storytelling. I don't think it was elaborate
none of those
storytelling.
things fit. That's not consistent at all with sleep paralysis.
No, that's
At
another
all.
weird thing.
Yeah.
And the hallucinations, I'm like, I guess if they all like got high,
Yeah. But you still wouldn't have the same trip. Like,
no, you wouldn't. And they would open up to that. There was really no stick.
Especially under hypnosis, I would think that you would admit to using something.
But so that's what it says. Even however, what makes the case particularly compelling is the fact that all four men, under separate hypnosis sessions, recalled nearly identical details about their abduction. Additionally, polygraph tests and physiological tests indicated that they were genuinely traumatized by their experience.
Fuck yeah, they are.
The fact that all four men maintained their story for decades without seeking financial gain or attention added credibility to their claims.
That's exactly what I was going to say. That gives so much more credibility when they're not seeking book deals or movie deals or whatever. And they want nothing to do with the fame associated with it. They're just trying to get answers for what the fuck happened to them.
And they were legit traumatized. Like I said, it's like, when terrible things happen to women.
Yeah.
It's like you're traumatized for the rest of your life. Yeah. But the Allagash abductions remain one of the most perplexing cases in UFO history. Some eerie details that stand out include the beam of light that seemed to capture them and erase their memory of the events, the shared nightmares which hinted at suppressed memories of the event, the fact that multiple eyewitnesses experienced the same missing time phenomenon, and the hypnotic regression sessions which unearthed chilling details of the abduction.
Yeah.
To this day, the men stand by their story, with no known contradictions or changes to their accounts. Their experience has been featured in numerous documentaries, books, and television programs, including Unsolved Mysteries and Ancient Aliens. Ooh. And there was a podcast. It was the same guy that did Up and Vanished. What's his name?
Yeah, he's dating the girl from Two Girls, One Ghost.
If I heard it, I would know
Hold
it.
on.
But he's got a podcast about it, and I loved it.
Wait, who did that?
What's his name?
I think I know. I think we're talking about the same. Payne Lindsay.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah,
Payne
I met
Lindsay.
him. What? He's great.
When I went to this true crime podcast thing in 2022, he was there. He's dating one of the co-hosts of Two Girls, One Ghost.
I love that for them.
I know. They're so cute.
But he's got a podcast about it. It's really good.
Yeah.
But so whether skeptics dismiss it as a hallucination or believers see it as one of the most credible alien abduction cases, the Allagash abduction remains an enduring mystery. The consistency of the four men's testimony, coupled with the physical and psychological effects they suffered, makes this case one of the most compelling in UFO lore. And the question remains, were these men the victims of a mass hallucination, or did they truly experience something beyond our understanding?
They sure fucking experienced something. A mass hallucination is not a thing.
And
it's not a thing. And how could you prove that any more than you could prove the UFO? Like, I would just rather think it's a UFO.
Yeah,
if we're gonna make shit up that happened, like
the what's it called? The podcast is called High Strange.
Yeah, I've heard of that.
I loved it. And I love these stories, and I fully believe them, and I will go to the grave believing all of them.
Yeah. I just would like one of them to fucking come pick us up.
I think they're avoiding us.
Yeah, they see what's going on. They're like, they are not smart enough for this shit, as evidenced by certain populations of people.
Not for me.
Not for me. We'll just let them destroy each other.
Yeah.
We'll take their land.
Then they'll take it. Probably take better care of it.
They're doing a good job. They're doing a good job. We don't need to intervene.
I know. But yeah, crazy.
Hate it here.
That's
so
aliens.
Crazy. I know. I love those stories. Those stories really defined how people view and the stereotype and tropes of aliens and UFO abductions. Those are pivotal stories in that lore.
That's what's crazy. And because, I grew up like having aliens that everyone did. You had alien stickers, alien toys, alien all that stuff. And they were the gray or green with the eye, the same shaped head. And I'm like, I didn't know where that came from.
I know. But it's like, the origin stories are so fascinating. Yeah.
And those
it's
poor
so cool.
people.
I know. The trauma they probably experienced the rest of their lives. Like, I cannot imagine. I can't imagine. But either way, I want to be abducted.
Same. I would let you know.
Yeah. If you get abducted, will you put in a good word for me?
Yes, I will.
Fuck yeah. I'll do the same. Like, hey, can we go pick up my friend?
Can I refer a friend?
I'll put her in Google Maps for you. Here, give me your phone.
Yeah. It's like, you get refer a friend, you get a credit or something.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like,
yeah. Can I get like an additional trip if I refer a friend?
yeah, or like a
I have
meal.
willing participants. Yeah.
Can I try some of your food?
Yeah. Can I just leave this fucking place and never come back?
I'll just hang out here. If
Yeah.
you want.
I'll help you figure it out. Yeah. You can organize dodgeball tournaments.
Oh my God, that'd be
I can assist with procedures. It'd be great.
Yeah. We could be like Xenon, the girls of the spacecraft.
I want to be like Xenon. That was my dream growing up, to live in space after I saw Xenon.
I never wanted to. I'm afraid of space.
No, I don't think I'm afraid of anything. I'm going to be real with you.
Like, I'll do oceans. I can't swim, but
I'm more
not
scared of
afraid
the
of
ocean than I am of space.
So even I'm opposite because at least for me, my reasoning is the ocean is still on Earth and there's some sort of ending to it. Like
Sure.
You're gonna get to the bottom of the ocean.
Yeah.
Space is too massive, and my brain.
But you can see everything in front of you. I mean, you can't. Like, as you get closer to, I mean, like, things are far away, you can't.
Galaxies.
But, like, you can see it all there. You can't see the ocean,
but
what's underneath
you. I could
you.
get something, too. You could
get a binoculars.
I could get my binoculars. But I can't, there's so much we don't know out there.
It is overwhelming to think about how large outer space is.
Well,
but
hyperventilate.
I want to, like, pull an interstellar and go through a wormhole and down into a black hole. Like, my dream in another life, I hope I'm an astronaut. And I'm sad I wasn't smart enough to be one in this life because
they're sending everybody to space now.
Yeah, if you have
Katy
billions
Perry's
of dollars.
going to space.
Wait, what? Is she really? Jesus, can she stay there?
No, because Elon Musk stuff only goes so far, then it comes right back down.
That's true. Maybe they could just eject her from and just let her orbit.
What about her daughter and Orlando Bloom?
I think they'd be better off.
I don't know her.
I don't know her. Katy Perry's not my favorite. She tries too hard.
Oh, I get that.
But that's my opinion of the day.
And on that note.
Yeah. And on that note, thank you guys for listening.
Yeah.
If you guys want to follow us on social media, we're on TikTok, Instagram, @InMyHauntedEra.
And please email us your stories so we can share real life encounters of our listeners. Or if there's a topic that you want us to cover, email us that too.
Yeah.
And email us at inmyhauntederapod@gmail.com.
Yeah. And please make sure you're subscribed to whatever podcast platform you're on right now.
Yeah.
And
leave us a
subscribe
review.
to our podcast. Leave us a rating. Leave us a review. We'd love to hear your feedback.
Even if it's something you did like, we need to know.
Yeah, it's fine. Just throw it in there or send us an email. We'll read it.
In a nice way because I'm sensitive.
Yeah, she's sensitive. But
or I'll call you out. I'll read the reviews
skin.
Online or while we're recording.
Exactly. Yeah, right. But if you come out with me in a certain energy, I'll match your energy, okay? So be prepared.
I'll come at you.
But still, please tell us how you feel.
Yeah, I want to know.
Yeah. But yeah, until next time,
we'll
haunt you later. That was so off sync.
Spooky.